The road ahead, it twists and turns, and the sun beats down and it burns. But I keep on pushing through. And every step quicker than the last, my feet tread down this beaten path, and I keep on pushing through. Cause I get.
안녕하세요. 호주에서 1년 정도 지금 지내고 있는 워킹 홀리데이를 하고 있는 석상진입니다. 현재 지금 주로 하는 거는 이제 텃밭 가꾸기, 그리고 뭐 나무 심기, 그리고 거름주기를 주로 하고 있습니다. 그리고 부수적으로 도와주는 것은 블랭크 만드는 거와 템플릿 만드는 거. 그 싱글 롱보드를 들고 와서 현재 누사의 롱보드 문화를 만들어줬던, 어떻게 보면은 장본인이 되는 거죠. 처음에는 저도 너무 정말 레전드 서퍼, 레전드 쉐이퍼라고 저는 알고 있었는데 점차 지내다 보니까 그냥 동네 아저씨 같은 느낌이 오히려 더 강하게 들어서 지금.
오케이, 썼어요. 잘 들어가고 있어 지금. 나온다. 뭐야, 이건가?
여기 뒤에 있어요. 드래곤 프루트 있어요. 만약에 서핑에 대해서 지금 정체가 되었거나 만약에 좀 더 정신적으로 성장을 하고 싶다, 그렇다면 톰 아저씨를 만나보는 것도 되게 추천을 드립니다.
You're talking surfboards. I'll take the kana. Okay. Hello, keep surfing in Korea. Tom Wegener here, and you're in Noosa Heads, Australia. And you're in my little surfboard factory where I make lots and lots of, mostly wood surfboards, but I make lots of all sorts of surfboards here. And I'd love to talk to you about surfing culture. And surfing, you know, what is surfing? And I sometimes ask, is it a sport? Is it a dance? Is it a culture? What is it? And when I was in Korea, a lot of the people said, no, it's a culture. And I think that's right. Surfing is a way of life, and it's a group of friends, and it's sharing surfing, it's sharing that energy. When you go to the beach and you see waves breaking, you want to catch those waves and ride them to shore, and it's the feeling of the energy of the wave, which just is great, and it feels so good, and it kind of takes over your life, doesn't it? What is surfing culture? Well, throughout history, it has been several different types of cultures, and going back to the ancient Hawaiians, surfing was a big part of their culture. The most popular sport in ancient Hawaii was surfing, and everybody surfed in the community. And there's a great story of one of the early missionaries in Hawaii on the Big Island. He went to this village and he said, well, where is everybody? Everybody's gone. And he looked and he looked and he finally found somebody running. And where is everybody? They're surfing. So when the surf came up in Hawaii, everybody went surfing. So he went down to the water's edge and he looked out, and the water was just dots of little people out there surfing these giant waves. And he thought to himself, isn't this terrible? They should all be working in the fields like good, Europeans. But no, the Hawaiians, they valued surfing that much. One of the problems with surfing culture is that sometimes surfers get greedy and they think they're a good surfer, so they want to go out and catch more waves than everybody else. And this is my wave and that's my wave, and they're paddling. And I sort of feel sorry for those surfers because they're trying to advance in a crowded situation where they don't belong there anymore. Kind of the moment that you feel that it's too crowded and you're trying to catch a wave and everybody's in your way and you want people to leave, well, then it's actually time for you to leave and find that other break someplace else, and to go up to a break where there's nobody surfing on it. Because there's what I saw is there's lots of different waves there, and even the wave at a different break might be big and crunchy. Well, then you'll take your shortboard or your belly board, or the wave may be long and slow, and then you'll take your big surfboard. As you get better and better and better at surfing, and now that I'm an elder, like Donald Takayama and Dale Velzy and so many of the great surfers, they were just about sharing surf. Their perfect day surfing was to go out, catch a couple of waves, and then come in and help other people catch surfing. And their best part of their surfing day was watching other people enjoy surfing. And that is the evolution of the surfer from beginner to trying to catch a wave, to trying to master it, to trying to master standing up and getting to your feet and riding to straight towards shore, to angling across waves, to maybe traveling the world and coming back, and then eventually having conquered the biggest waves and feeling comfortable with yourself, then you come back to your home break and your job is to share the waves. And that's the history of surfing, and that's what the Hawaiians have passed on to us. It's a spirit of aloha, and aloha is just a magic word meaning the great spirit, the spirit of surfing and sharing. And ohana is another word from Hawaii that is very important. Ohana means family. I think Korea is in a very exciting time right now because there's lots of people learning how to surf, and there's a handful of people getting better and better, and they're actually coming to Australia, traveling the world, finding the better waves, and then going back to Korea and searching for those better waves or bigger waves so that they can advance where they want to go in surfing. And Korea has a choice with the surfers to become like the ancient Hawaiian style culture, or there's another very strong culture from Southern California, which was popular in the 80s and 90s, and that was a very localism culture where the surfers thought the surf was too crowded, and so they told everybody to leave their beach. This is my beach, you go to the next beach down there. And it became very male dominated, where girls were shunned from surfing, and surfing was only big, strong men. And in order to catch a wave, you had to fight to catch that wave. And surfing became a very hard, manly sport. And that was popular for about the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And now we're going back to surfing being more of a culture where it's about sharing. And the best, your best moment of the day will be watching somebody catch their first wave and their face lights up and go, and with such happiness and such joy as they find that energy with the wave. And that is what is the best part of surfing. Not going out and showing everybody how good you are, because the sad thing about surfing is you're never going to be all that great in a way. you're always just the best surfer in the water is the one having the most fun, not the one doing the biggest maneuvers, because there's always somebody better than you. And then when you get up to the very best surfers like David Rostovich and Ryan Birch and guys like that, they're the best surfers in the world today, but you know what? They're also having the most fun. You know, they're this new spirit of surfing that's come out. What to know about surfing? So when you're going to the beach and thinking about surfing, I would say, what makes you happy? You have to know that surfing is a culture, and when you get to the beach, you can talk to people about how are the conditions. Is it big or it's small? What should I look out for? Is it safe? It's always important to talk to people, because they'll tell you, surfers, you're a part of a culture now, you're part of a family, and you can fit into that family. And generally speaking, the better the surfer, the more that they want to help you enjoy yourself. The best surfers will tell you exactly what you should be doing and where you should paddle out, because they want you to enjoy surfing as much as they enjoy surfing, because surfing is about sharing and it's about family. And so go to the beach and have respect for the locals, and ask the locals what's the best thing to do, because if you're not an expert, ask an expert, and they'll really, really, really can help you out. I had so much fun visiting Korea, and I believe that the Korean surf culture is beautiful. And I love that you have a barbecue after surfing and everybody gets together, because that is so fun. And that's really the core of surfing, is going surfing and having a meal afterwards. And of course, that's what the ancient Hawaiians did. And the ancient Hawaiians had been surfing for probably thousands of years. Surfing is really important, and having a big barbecue is really important, and the two go hand in hand. And the Koreans have already figured that out. For me, even now, I get worried about crowds, because I'm so old now that actually I have a hard time surfing in a crowd because I'm old. I can't react as fast as I used to. And I think the beginner surfers are the same thing. They worry about crowds and getting in the way and running into people. So I really recommend having a belly board, because with a normal surfboard, you have to have a certain type of wave that's good for surfing. With a belly board, you can have any wave. Any wave is basically good for a belly board. Even if it breaks right on the shore and comes straight towards shore, you can still catch waves. So for me, I love having my belly board. So if it's crowded out there, I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to be nervous. I'm just going to paddle out, maybe catch a wave. Maybe it's too crowded. Maybe it's too big. But with a belly board, I know that I'm still going to go out there and enjoy surfing. When I was in Korea and I were driving up and down the coast, and some places were crowded and some places were not crowded. And from my perspective as a longtime surfer, I was saying, oh, geez, I would like to ride a shortboard in that wave, and oh boy, I'd like to ride a longboard in that wave. And there's lots of opportunities for the better surfers to leave, I understand Yang Yang is a very crowded beach, to leave Yang Yang and start looking for their own spots and own little places where they can, advance their surfing a little bit more. Because when I saw in Korea, there's so many beginner surfers going straight towards shore, and that's fine, but as you get better at surfing, you'll go out and find a different place and both travel and test yourself. It's a little bit like hunting, finding good waves. It's a challenge, and it takes a lot of thought and planning and driving and looking and seeing what's out there. And then also, it's important to have the right surfboard for the waves that you want to surf. For myself, I generally go surfing with 3 surfboards. I'll always take a belly board. I'll always take a kind of shorter board, usually a finless board, around 6 feet. And then I usually have a 10 or 12 foot board and even a 16 foot surfboard, a very long surfboard. Fiberglass is not a great medium for making surfboards. When I make a surfboard, I think of that moment that board's going to work best.